Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes. Hope you're doing well on the 3rd of January. And as always, it's FPL Talk Part 27. 27, it's 2025. Woo! Happy New Year to all. I did say it on the 1st, but I'll say it again on the 3rd of January. It is Friday. Woo! Nearly the weekend. And we're going to do all things fantasy, all things football, all things Premier League talk, 10:30 this morning. And without further ado, let's go straight in. No messing about. Let's get straight in there so you guys can see what I can see indeed. Let's prep this up for you all to have a little look at what's occurring. So here we go. Rocking and rolling, people. There you go. So this is what is happening right this second on the wonderful world of Fantasy Premier League and FPL. We have finished this game week. Game week 19 just finished, didn't it? Arsenal played Brentford, didn't they? And they won 3-1. No clean sheet over the Gunners on Monday. But on Wednesday, on Wednesday, wasn't it? The 1st of January, we won 3-1. The Arsenal did. Those are the results. We'd have a little look at the other games as well. United losing to Newcastle, that to me was the pick of the weekend in terms of matches. I know a lot of people would say, really, honestly, expected United to do something. Kind of expected them to at least score in that game at home, but they lost flat out 2-0 to Newcastle. Clean sheets for the Toon over at Old Trafford. But the last match that finished off game week 19 was Brentford versus Arsenal. Arsenal won 3-1, didn't they? Gabriel Jesus did really well. Is this a small purple patch? A lot of people are questioning Jesus in terms of a long-term purchase. However, saying that, his price has gone up today, hasn't it? Due to the influx of transfers. I guess because his performances in the last few weeks have been quite good in Saka's absence. That shuffled the team. Arsenal have to a degree. So, game week 19, 65 points. Little disappointed, if I'm honest with you. 2 reasons. One, I spent a transfer, so I'm already -4 down. So, technically, I had 61 points, if we're going to be particular. And on top of that, the second reason I'm a bit disappointed is because the average was 66. Ironically, I'm actually a point worse off than I would have kept Erling Haaland. I know. The shock for weeks. Haaland is disappointing. Not only is he didn't do well prior to that point as well. Isak got he got me 7 points, but Haaland scored. I know, and he got 8. The absolute shock. Erling Haaland scored and got 2 bonus points versus Isak. So quite surprised Isak only got 1 in the end. I know he's been doing really well. I know that's kind of fair, some people would say, but in theory, quite surprised that he got 1. I would have thought maybe 2 would have been fair considering his form. Most of the majority of my points came from Mo Salah, of course. Always Captain Mo, ACS. And I have been doing that every single week, and he has been performing fantastically well. Negative, Joe Gomez. He looks like he's going to be out for a few weeks at least. On top of that, news today out of Liverpool, Konate's back in training. So I might have to do the flip-flop transfer, taking out Gomez and bringing back Konate again at some point. So keeping an eye on that, making sure I miss the boat on that option. Lewis did well for me this week. He's gone down in price to 4.6. I only realised the other day that I spent 4.7 million on him. I got him quite late on in his rise. If you remember, he went up in price and started performing well for Man City at the start of the season and became a regular starter. So I've lost a little bit on Lewis, but I never technically planned to get rid of him. So that's not the end of the world. Keeping him in the team, not too bad at all. Jackson did play a full 90, did he? He came on for Nkunku. So, yeah, 65 was the final points in the end. Technically speaking, if we're going to be pedantic, I got 61 because I lost 4 on that transfer. So we move, though, over to next game week 20, which starts Saturday. Don't forget to get your teams at 11 o'clock. Saturday, 4th of January. So tomorrow at 11 o'clock in the morning, get those teams sorted because there is a 12:30 kickoff. And it's a half-decent 12:30 kickoff in Tottenham versus Newcastle. Exciting game. Looking forward to that one, I am. In terms of score predictions, I'm thinking probably a victory for Newcastle just, but Spurs scoring. I think you're looking probably 2-1 in that game. Maddison, I know, didn't start the previous match. Brennan Johnson scored. I know Brennan Johnson finally got a goal after me kicking him out. Seems to be the curse, me, that does. Get rid of players and they start doing really well. Rodgers kicked him out after being a bit funny. I know a lot of people on Reddit, a lot of people in articles and FPL fans would say to me, why did you get rid of him? He's a good player. He is a good player. He looked good on the eye, passed the eye test, but his points on fantasy weren't the greatest, were they? Let's be honest. He was getting the occasional, massive score, then he'd go down to getting 2s and 3s, and he'd get a good score. It's very erratic in that sense. So I brought in Amad Diallo, didn't I? And back then I also brought in Enzo Fernandez at one point as well. I've settled currently at the second on Amad Diallo and Jacob Murphy as my cheap sort of 5 million, circa 5 million midfielder players. They are there to complement my more big hitters in Mo Salah, obviously, Palmer as well in the team. So those two guys are the main players, and then obviously I have Martinelli as the Arsenal coverage. But in terms of Spurs versus Newcastle, I can see Spurs scoring, I can see Newcastle winning. Isak is on fire, and he is the man to go to. Villa versus Leicester, in my opinion, honestly, straightforward win for Villa. I think they're going to probably win 2-0, 2-1, maybe 3-1, something like that. They are doing quite well, Villa, pushing for top-end European places, Champions League places. Bournemouth, Everton, it's going to be a good game. I really do. I can see probably a draw, 1-1, or maybe even an awkward 0-0 between the two. Crystal Palace versus Chelsea. This is not an easy game for Chelsea. Not an easy game for Chelsea, may I add. Crystal Palace are scoring, not steamrolling teams by any stretch of the imagination, but they are scoring. Chalobah's doing okay for them as well as needing defence, as is Henderson. In this game, I'll probably a draw, to be honest with you. Maybe a 1-1, maybe Chelsea nicking it 2-1. Possibly if they do well and start going through the gears and actually play Jackson from the start, you might get 3-1 win for Chelsea. If not, I can see probably a squeeze victory for Chelsea or a draw in that one. City, I think, will beat West Ham quite comfortably there without Bowen. Don't forget West Ham as well. So their reliance, unfortunately, is all on Kudus, isn't it, really? Mohamed Kudus, who I spoke about a while ago, a couple of weeks ago, about him being a fantasy Premier League asset then. Not so much now. Without the influence of Bowen, I'm not sure how effective he's going to be. City, I think, will win fairly comfortably. Annoyingly, I think Haaland will score again, and we'll start to see that wheels in motion a little bit, and I'll start to have to worry how I'm going to get him back into the team. I am lucky, like a lot of you guys, if you can claim to be lucky, that there's a wild card lingering there, isn't there? We've had one, we've moved over to 2025, so we've got our second wild card available to play if need be. So if Haaland starts to go through the gears, you know, I'm loath to get rid of Isak, who I've only just brought in, so I'll have to rejiggle the team a little bit to try and keep that. It will look a bit odd if I do it, but maybe needs must if Haaland starts flying. I can see Man City winning that quite comfortably, probably a 2-1, maybe 3-1, and maybe even a higher score than that, depending on how they perform. Southampton versus Brentford. Interesting game, that one, because Brentford have been phenomenal, but they are scoring. However, Southampton have done a little bit better under Juric, haven't they? Looking a little bit more secure, a little bit solid. Can I see them winning? No. Can I see them drawing? Yes, because they're at home. This is at Brentford's ground. I would say it's a Brentford win. Because it's at Southampton St Mary's, I can see probably a draw in this game. In terms of assets for those games, going through them really quickly, Watkins for Villa. He's playing, obviously, Duran suspended. If Leicester are going to do, I think it's going to be Vardy, I think. Bournemouth, Everton. I know Semenyo's doing quite well at Bournemouth, as is Evan Nielsen. So those two guys. Houston's doing quite well on defence as well. Everton's a difficult one because they don't tend to score, do they? If they do, and Die scored recently, so maybe him. Crystal Palace, Chelsea, defence side of things, I think could be the goal scorers, not maybe a Gahey goal or Munoz, or even Chalobah's doing quite well recently. Chelsea, I think Palmer's the go-to, and play Nicholas Jackson and he'll score. Man City, I think Haaland all day long. Kudus, West Ham are going to do anything. Southampton versus Brentford. Dibling's done quite well for Southampton, hasn't he? Bright spark in their team, so possibly him. He's the more likely. Armstrong, I think, got an assist in the previous match, so maybe Armstrong as well. Brentford is Mbeumo. I would say Wissa, but Wissa hasn't done anything for the past couple of games, whereas Mbeumo has actually scored, so you're looking for form. Brighton versus Arsenal, straight Arsenal win. Simple as that. I know Brighton have previously been a bit of a bogey team for Arsenal, but I can't see Brighton being a bogey team in this game. I can see it being maybe I think they'll score. Annoyingly, Arsenal concede, as we saw against Brentford. So I think Brighton will score against Arsenal. They're at home as well at the Amex, so I expect them to do something. Their goal, probably a consolation goal, really, and an otherwise 2-1, 3-1 win for Arsenal. Havertz might be back as well for the Gunners. If he is, that's good news as well. Bad news for maybe Gabriel Jesus owners, because he may play around with the formation a little bit there. Got to keep an eye on Martinelli as well, because he's in the team at the moment. He scored, thankfully, in the previous match, because my concern with him is rotation risk. Mainly if he's nudged over to the left-hand side, Trossard and Gabriel Martinelli will sort of fight for that left side position, won't they? And then on Sunday, we have a match, Fulham versus Ipswich. Well, Ipswich did quite well, didn't they, the other day? They beat Chelsea, so it makes me think, okay, they might do something. Delap looks like he's doing quite well for them at the moment. So Ipswich, Fulham, interesting game. I still think Fulham will win it. Just Ipswich might be on an upward trajectory a bit and on a high after winning against Chelsea, but I can't see them winning against Fulham. If anything, they might squeeze a draw in this match. They are away from home, don't forget as well, so that will factor into the game. Fulham are a solid team normally, decent team normally, so I can see that they've got Raul Jimenez is doing quite well for Fulham. So definitely not going to be a 0-0, I don't think. I think Fulham will score in that game and possibly even win it, maybe a goal to nil. Liverpool, Man United. Now, normally the blockbuster game, isn't it, of this game week? You'd look at that fixture and you think, yes, that and the Spurs versus Newcastle game is a good, also at 12:30. So on the Saturday, but obviously Liverpool, Man United, all eyes are on that game at 4:30 on Sunday. But I'm afraid to say, and it's all over the media in general, it's a Liverpool win, let's be honest. I know Man United can turn up. I know Man United could do something. There's many factors against why Man United won't win in this game. One, Liverpool at Anfield. Not ideal for United. Two, United have been terrible for a long time now, but they're even more dodgier. They lost, obviously, previously to Newcastle, was it, the last game week? So that doesn't factor in particularly well for them. The issues they got behind the scenes as well, Rashford, etc., going on with Man United. Liverpool are flying. If they get Konate back from injury, I'm not sure he'll play. It would be risked. Kwanzaa will probably play, which is good for me in a sense as well, because don't forget I've got Gomez and I've got Kwanzaa in my team to cover that centre-half position, providing Konate doesn't get back straight into the team. My plan then is maybe to spend a transfer to bring in Konate next week or the week after, depending on news from Slot. But yes, Liverpool, I'm even captain in Salah this week, game week. That's how sure I am that Liverpool will beat Manchester United. I'm honestly thinking it's going to be... do you know what the funny thing is? They'll win, but I don't think it's going to be a clean sheet for Liverpool, annoyingly. United are going to be a bit bogey-esque for them. They're going to concede Liverpool, annoyingly. It might be because of the fact that Gomez is out and Konate still coming back to train at the play Kwanzaa, and that might be a bit of an issue. He has been okay, but a little bit iffy in defence. If United are going to target anything, they might target the left side, which is Robertson, who's good, but he's looking a bit shifty. Trent isn't the greatest defensively, but he's done okay recently. But Kwanzaa going down the centre-half side of things, maybe Højlund, if he plays, or probably not Xerxes, but Højlund maybe, if he plays for Rasmus Højlund, might target Kwanzaa. Van Dijk is obviously a colossus in defence for Liverpool, so you don't target him necessarily. But United might get a bit of joy down the middle in that sense as well. So that's where I think they might score, but that is all they will do, is score. Hopefully, Amad Diallo scores as well. I do actually have him on the bench at the moment. I'll show you the team in a minute. But obviously, I want him scoring because his price has dropped recently as well. He went down 0.1 million. Thankfully, didn't affect me because I got him at 5.1. So, Liverpool, Man United, win for Liverpool, 3-1, 2-1, so we along there, 2-1, 3-1. A little bit cagey. I think it might be quite a robust game in that players are going to go for challenges, tackles. United might want to show something. They haven't done a great deal of Amarin. They haven't shown that kind of togetherness, that tenacity that you want, really, and that change. But then again, maybe Amarin is more of a tiki-taka, more of a Portuguese possession-based manager. It doesn't look at the physical side of things. Liverpool, I think, will steamroll the game at the end of it all. They're at Anfield. They're going to feel that the fans are going to be on top of United as well. So I think Liverpool win at 4:30 on Sunday. And then we've got the final game, Monday, 6th of January. Monday game, Wolves, Forest, who knew? Sort of a sort of Midlandsy style derby, isn't it, really? East Midlands versus West to a degree, or the Black Country side of things. Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Forest. Going to be an okay game, actually, I think. But saying that, Wolves will score, but Forest will score more. Simple as that. I can see Forest winning this game probably 2-1. At the end of it all, Wood is on fire, as he said it week and week and week, and I still haven't got him in the team, in my fantasy team. Chris Wood, Crystal's going to score, Chris Wood, and he keeps doing it. And I wonder whether he has that dip, in those couple of games that he had where I thought that might be the end of his purple patch. He then goes and scores again, and you think, okay, Chris Wood's back again. Gibbs White's also performing quite well for them. Their defence is fairly solid. Haven't pulled the trigger yet on Dragusin to Nico Williams. That's on my to-do list. I'll have a look at that at some point. It may be this weekend, it may not be. I'm looking at really whether I plan to bench Dragusin anyway, which I'll show you in a minute. So their defence is quite good. Forest, it's really been something to target. Aina's been the man to go to, hasn't he, really? Milinkovic, Murillo, I think he's out injured, so a lot of people might jump onto Murato. If he's not out injured for a long period of time, then definitely sells the goal as well. Forest are a super team to have in terms of defensively. That's all I will say on that. So, looking at the team, I finished game week 19 with 65 points. The average was 66, not particularly happy. My rank got a little bit better than it was yesterday, but still not the greatest at 2,440,411. Pick team for this week. Well, simply put, here it is. In goal is Raya. In defence, I'm toying with kicking him out. And after reading what I've said about Gomez and what Slot said also about him being out of the team and injured, it's going to be likely I stick Kwanzaa straight inside there. And in fact, I'll do that live so you guys can see Gomez out, Kwanzaa in. If we're picking particulars, that is going to be the team Raya to play against Brighton. Clean sheet, hopefully, but he hasn't had one in a while, Arsenal, so I'm expecting save points rather than clean sheet. But then again, if Brighton are going to test Arsenal heavily, not sure. Kwanzaa versus Man United, slim chance of a clean sheet in that one if Liverpool perform and are solid at the back. They are capable, but again, with Liverpool, clean sheet, not been one for a while, has there really? They did potentially get one against West Ham, which I missed out on. But otherwise, if you look at their history, the last time they got a clean sheet was game week 13, ironically, against Manchester City at home. So here's to a similar performance against Manchester United at home. Crystal Palace versus Chelsea again. What to do with Colwell? He did get a clean sheet. He did get an assist, but didn't do well against Ipswich. He got a yellow card against them. So I'm hoping that he performs better, but they are away to Crystal Palace, and that is not an easy fixture. 2 points, I think I'm expecting from that one. Yep, Colwell, maybe an assist if there's a chance of a corner kick or something like that. If I'm really lucky, a goal for Colwell, a what sort of surprise goal. But I'm playing him because I prefer his chances against Crystal Palace than Dragusin's versus Tottenham, which you'll see in a minute. Lewis against West Ham, I will play him, even though he's gone down in price. I trust that he's played every single fixture thus far. So he's done really, really well, bar the game against Manchester United. He's been involved in pretty much every game. So Man United and Arsenal, that's pretty good in terms of 90-minute games. I know that they're also looking at reports today that Kyle Walker might be going to Saudi Arabia. So that maybe cements Lewis's place. I say cement, gives him a better chance in that right-back position. So yeah, Lewis will play against West Ham, and I expect, believe it or not, a clean sheet now because Bowen's out for a while. So maybe a good chance of a clean sheet against West Ham at home. Palmer, vice captain, purely because once again, Crystal Palace are not an easy team to play against. He's the bright spark. He's the energy. He's the electric, isn't he, in Chelsea's team? So if anything's going to happen, it's coming from Cole Palmer, of course. But I still don't trust him ahead of Mo Salah, captain. Against United, his history is good. He's already done well against United this season away at Old Trafford, admittedly against Ten Hag. 17 points, he got 2 assists and a goal and 3 bonus points all the way back in game week 3 against Manchester United away. I'm hoping for goal, assist, maybe something along those lines, and that will better, in my opinion, Palmer's score against Crystal Palace. I am assuming, of course. Martinelli versus Brighton. He had a really good game in the last match against Brentford. I'm hoping that Martinelli continues that form. Saka's obviously out for a period of time now till March, isn't he? I think it is. So Martinelli has a chance to really sort of cement. He's not Saka, not a direct replacement, but he is a great player, Martinelli. Nwenyi, the new player at Arsenal, the young man, played over on the right-hand side. Martinelli played on his natural left. May do the same. May move Gabriel Jesus on the right-hand side and put Havertz up front. Rest the young sort of midfielder that we've got, Ethan. We will see. But otherwise, Martinelli definitely a starter. I can see Arsenal getting a couple of goals against Brighton, and I can see Martinelli potentially being involved. Fingers crossed for an assist or a goal. Jacob Murphy. Jacob Murphy and the team ahead of Amad Diallo. Toying with that one a little bit, but I probably will keep it purely because watching Jacob Murphy in the past few weeks, he didn't do anything in the previous match. He got 3 points, I think it was, the clean sheet side of things. But he didn't score an assist in that game. But watching Jacob Murphy, he's very much on that periphery of really close to getting some kind of attacking sort of points for us. So, and he's got up in price. There's a lot more interest in Newcastle assets at the moment, defensively and attack. especially Anthony Gordon being a bit more pricey than Murphy, quite a bit more pricey. So Murphy getting some good points recently. I brought him in before the price increase. So hopefully an okay performance. Tottenham can be a bit leaky sometimes, even though they're at home. So we will see. Fingers crossed that Murphy and Isak link up well, as to Anthony Gordon on the other side as well. I'm giving him another chance again, but he is playing Southampton. Okay, Southampton are a little bit more solid, but technically speaking, Wisa should be scoring against Southampton if Brentford do well. And Buemo is the man to go to. That's what I've said previously, and he's the main man, I think, for Brentford in general. Play Nicholas Jackson. Simple as that. Play him, and I think he'll score against Crystal Palace. I really do. Cole Palmer and Nicholas Jackson, and Colwell, obviously my Chelsea assets in the team. If they play Nicholas Jackson, he will score. A lot of people have been jumping on and off the bandwagon of Jackson recently, haven't they? People saying, "Oh, he didn't play fully against, in the previous match, so therefore we're not going to have him in the team. We're going to kick him out and bring someone else in." I'm holding him for a bit longer. I just think that I've invested in him previously, and he's done well-ish. The previous match, I think personally was a mistake in Maresca not playing him, giving him a rest, playing Nkunku instead. Nkunku didn't do anything. Nicholas Jackson came on and looked a little lively, but still, you can't give him 20 minutes and expect him to score hundreds of goals or even a few goals. So, starting from the beginning, and I think he'll do okay against Crystal Palace. And then we've got Isak, the man on fire, my full man, everyone's full man, him and Mo Salah, and to a degree Cole Palmer as well. I brought him in a week back before the previous deadline. He scored. He got me a bonus point, like you guys as well, who own him. Against Spurs, I can see him scoring. So a no-brainer having him up front, but not captain material just yet. And he's away to Spurs, so getting more than a goal would be a bonus. One goal, I think I'm kind of expecting that with his form at the moment. On the bench, we have Lucas Fabianski. Good news about him. He's back very soon, so his injury isn't major. He did have a concussion, didn't he? He was knocked out against Southampton, went off. A bit worrying. Thankfully, he was fine. I read reports quite soon after the game that he was talking. He was up okay in the hospital. He'll be back very soon. But has he lost his place to Areola in goal against teams going forwards? Hopefully not. But would you see Lopetegui put Fabianski straight back in when he's back in the first team fold and back in training? Not sure, especially if Areola does well this weekend. Against Man City, probably not. Fulham, will Fabianski be back in time for the Fulham game? Possibly. He's got a few weeks to recover. We will see. Hopefully Fabianski gets reinstated in goal. He's done quite well for them until that point. Amad Diallo, I'm sitting on the fence with him versus Liverpool, probably not just due to the fact that the last few weeks he hasn't done much. But the one thing that gives me hope is the fact that the last time he performed well was away to Manchester City. And I know a lot of people are beating Manchester City at the moment, but Amad Diallo is away to Liverpool, big team. Is that an omen? Possibly not. Again, against Liverpool, they didn't do a great deal. They only played 21 minutes in game week 3, but that's irrelevant data. Gomez is benched naturally. I might even move to third place at some point because I don't see him facing Man United in any form, not even from the bench or an emergency. I see Gomez out this weekend based on Slot's comments. Dragusin hasn't done a great deal the past few weeks. Tottenham have leaked goals. They've leaked goals against Liverpool. Obviously, they've got thumping against them. Leaked goals against Forest, or leaked a goal. Leaked a couple against Wolves. So, I'm looking to move Dragusin on now. And I'm also reading reports that Van de Ven is back after the break that we've got. Well, I said break. The Carabao Cup and FA Cup fixtures, haven't we, really, between now and the 14th of January, or the next game week. So Dragusin will likely come out. Van de Ven and Romero will likely be back in defence for Spurs at that particular point. So that is the team to face game week 20 head on at the moment. I might make an emergency change. If I do, ladies and gents, and I make a change, it will be a Forest defender. It will likely be the guy I've been targeting for a while. That is Williams. I'm looking at him over on the left side, I think. Although there's a little bit of edginess about whether Moreno might come back into the team because he's been rested, etc. But I am looking at this man, Nico Williams. Really good. I think he might go up in price just by virtue of his 4.3 million price tag right now. He's done quite well. He got that assist against Brentford. The only thing that is making me sit on the fence a little bit is firstly the previous match against Wolves ended in 1-1. I believe that there's going to be goals in that game as well on Monday, this game week. On top of that is the fact that Alex Moreno still lingers. Okay, he hasn't played recently. The only thing that would give us all comfort if we are looking to bring in Williams would be the fact that if Villa recall Alex Moreno, that would be very nice indeed. Another good news as well is Moreno looks like he's not majorly injured. He didn't play against Everton, did we? Morato did. So we will see. We will see. But if I'm pulling the trigger, I'm pulling the trigger, and it's going to be Williams, and it's going to be Dragusin out. Simple as that. The only reason why I'm hesitant to do that is I'm looking to maybe try and save a couple of transfers, but I will be monitoring the price predictor. If you guys do that also, fantastic. That's what's currently happening this second. Wood is to be potentially going up tonight. I think that'll probably happen as well. He'll potentially go up to 6.8. So if you're looking to bring him in, get him in now before he goes up in price. Lavia potentially go down. However, I'm not sure about that. We'll see. He will be released from the red flag. I think he's training again. So if Romeo Lavia is back in training, he might go down. Onana's potentially going down tonight from Villa. He's been going down for a few weeks now. Isak is potentially going up tomorrow. Watkins is potentially going up tomorrow. Veltman's going down. De Ligt is going down. Weeks is going down. And Van de Ven potentially going down. We will see on that one. Because of the flag, Van de Ven and Lavia, if he is back in training, may not drop just yet, but will be released potentially for the next game week because they are apparently fit for that. If you guys are following Reddit in any form as well, I'll show you the quick price changes so you guys can see what's occurring. Jesus went up to 6.9. Raul Jimenez went up to 5.6. Sells, the goalkeeper over at Forest, I did say invest in Forest, 4.9. Kulusevski's gone up as well. He's been threatening to go up for a few days now, 6.5 million. Flecken's dropped. That's an interesting one, but they haven't kept clean sheets, 4.4. Dunker's finally dropped to 4.3. Justin, the Leicester defender's gone for 4.2. Kelleher, Alisson's back, so 4.2. And Amad Diallo didn't affect me, but he has dropped to 5.3. I will leave you guys with the list so you guys can see exactly what's happening. That is my sell price and pay price. I paid 5.5 for Raya. His price is 5.6, that's fine. I paid 4 million for Fabianski. His price is 4.1, so that's fine. Colwell paid 4.5, so if he drops, he's currently 4.6, he'll still be the same price. Gomez, I'm looking to ship on at some point soonish. Kwanzaa, I don't think he'll drop now because he'll likely play against Manchester United. Lewis has dropped to 4.6, but I plan to keep him anyway long term. Dragusin, I'm trying to avoid the drop if he does drop for whatever reason. 4.3 million, so he'll move on for Williams. Martinelli's gone up price to 4.8. Fingers crossed he goes to 6.8. Fingers crossed he goes up to 6.9, and I'll make a profit on him. Purely looking at Saka. I've got a profit already on Palmer. He's at 11.4, and I brought him in at 11.2. Salah's given me a nice hefty profit. Brought him in at 12.5. He's now 13.6. Amad Diallo, small profit. 5.1, he dropped to 5.3. That didn't affect me because I brought him in at 5.1, so he's still sell price at 5.2 for me. Jacob Murphy's made me a profit instantly. I brought him in at 4.9. He's now 5.1. Risa is, just about profit, but if he drops too much more, that'll be an issue. 5.9, I brought him in. He's now 6.2. Nicholas Jackson has maybe an okay profit. I brought him in at 7.6. He's now 8.2 million. And finally, a very small profit of 1.1. Isak, I bought it at 9. He's now 9.2. Yes, I do care about things like that. And yes, you should as well. I have a budget of 5.7 million in the bank. That is kept there as a just in case. I have a free transfer naturally as well. I may keep that because I wasn't going to play Dragusin. So my centre halves will be Colwell, Kwanzaa and Lewis if I'm to play a back three, which is likely with Raya in goal. If I make a change, as I said before, it'll be Nico Williams, and out will go Dragusin, either this game week or for next game week, because I know that Spurs have their two centre-halves back and fit very soon. So that is all for today. Hopefully you guys got your teams good to go. Don't forget, tomorrow is that deadline at 11 o'clock in the morning. As always, I'm on all of the wonderful socials. I'm on Facebook, AJP85-channel. I'm on X, AJ1985P. I'm on Twitch, A_J_P_8_5. And I'm obviously on YouTube, where all the videos go afterwards. AJ Hardy85. Like, subscribe, and follow if you people would. And make sure you comment, and while I've chat all things football, do talk to me. I've been speaking and playing football, fantasy Premier League for years and years. Show me your team. I know a lot of these places don't like you putting your teams up on there, so let me know if you think my team's decent. Let me know about your team. Let me think about captaincy choice, which is going to be Mo Salah this weekend. But otherwise, ladies and gents, I will see you phenomenal people likely on Monday. I'll drop the details on X. But otherwise, have a great rest of the day. Have a great weekend, and I hope your fantasy team performs well this weekend. Otherwise, as always, dudes and dudettes, I've been AJ. I'll see you phenomenal people on Monday. Thanks for watching. You guys.